and quit going, did you see what she had on? Lord, help us. You know what they just did? Whew. Help us, Lord. Well, if she ever finds the Lord, she won't do that no more, man. If he ever, come on. What's the problem with churches like that? They don't understand grace. Let me grow. I have been around the church since I've been breathing. I have no excuse after half a century of church. I've heard it all 3 times backwards. I was the little baby they laid on the back seat of a hardwood bench in Awalt, Tennessee, in a Nazarene church as the people prayed all night on Friday night for revival to come. And they'd go back on Saturday night and they'd pray all night. You know where this little fellow laid on the back seat? Mama brought a pallet. People won't do that no more, I don't think, but they did back in the 60s. They prayed for revival. I've heard it all. But I grew up being judged, and I began to adapt the habit of those I grew up around. And by 21, I was the holiest man in all the world. I could see the flaws in every person that walked through the doors, especially the sinners. And I wondered why they even darkened the door. Who do they think they are to come into God's house? I'm just being honest, guys. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. And you know, I've never dragged anyone to prison. I've never taken anyone's life. I've never sold a slave. My attitudes and my thoughts are just as wicked as Paul and John Newton. I was a wretch. God has allowed me in my life to go through some stuff. I've been on the outside of the stained glass looking inside. Men who used to would take a phone call from me no longer will. I know what it feels like to be judged. And for that judgment to never, ever in your lifetime is ever going to go away. Judged to this day. I know that feeling. I'm not accepted in a lot of places. I tried. I've done everything in my power. But I have embraced grace. And God's amazing grace is oftentimes all that we can grab when the world won't let us forget the errors of our past. And you may be here this morning, and you may feel like the things that you have done are the worst things in the world. Maybe you can relate John Newton and the Apostle Paul, and maybe even to your pastor. But I want to tell you something. Those who judge me can judge me all they want, but I am perfect in the eyes of my Father. And that's all that matters. And there comes a point in your life when you have to quit trying to measure up to the standards of those around you and say, God, I will never in my life be what they want me to be, but may I be all that you want me to be, and may your grace cover all the gaps, and may I be peaceful with that. And I can tell you, this man has found peace with God, and it has been as I've learned about grace. You say, you've been on grace for 4 weeks. I may stay on it till I die. I don't know. Because grace is so needed in our world. So wherever you find yourself this morning, the outcast who needs to be embraced by grace, or maybe you're the judgmental one that in your own heart, you know, I've been way too hard on people. I've sat back and I've thought things and said things and done things, and I have been that self-righteous one. I've never acknowledged my own hot mess. It's not fun to do. It's not fun to stand in front of the mirror and say, I'm a mess. I'm a wreck. God, why did you call me? I do that sometimes, Steve. See, I don't tell everybody my life. I'm the little boy at 7 years old that wouldn't let go of his mom's coattail. I had some kind of issue. They've still not diagnosed it or got a pill for it. I have social anxiety out the yin-yang. As a 12-year-old, I never went to any of my high school games. I was the little boy who ran out the school as quick as he could and got on his bicycle and ran home to the safety of my home. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I couldn't speak to nobody. I just wanted to go home. And God, you want me to stand up in front of people and talk? Are you insane? Did you not see me pedaling that 10-speed bicycle because we couldn't afford me a car? And they made fun of me because I was a high school senior and didn't have the new Camaros. I didn't even have the old Camaro. I didn't even have the wheel off the Camaro. I had a used 10-speed bike that was chained up there. Seniors don't ride bikes. Freshmen do. And I never went to anything. What are you saying, Pastor? I'm a wreck. Most of you don't know that I've been doing this for a long time. I accepted the call to preach when I was 27. 30 years of this. I still get sick in my stomach every Sunday morning. I don't want to do it. I'm like, Lord, can I just go vacuum today? Would that be good enough? I like to vacuum. I don't get in front of them. Who am I, Father? Do you not know my flaws? Do you not know my issues? Grace. He says, my grace is sufficient. I've given you the desire. Won't you trust me to give you the power to go do what I want you to do? Okay. And week after week, this bashful little scared 7-year-old boy does his best because he's got a father who loves him in ways he can't even imagine. I don't deserve God's grace. I know I'm a mess. I know it. But you know what? Even now I know it. Sometimes I get a little self-righteous and God has to bring me back down. What am I trying to say? I don't know. I'll tell you this. I don't know why I've shared with you the last 10 minutes. There's not a note up there. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. God's speaking to somebody this morning in some way. I don't know what he's trying to tell you, but let me tell you, God loves you this morning. And whatever mistakes you may have deemed you've made, if it's under the blood, it's gone. Jump into his arms of grace and walk in the freedom and allow yourself to grow. I tell people all the time, Jeff, I want you to come to the keyboard. I want us to sing that song. You can bring the praise team if you want to. The one, I wrote it down, but I can't remember what it was. Y'all sang it, the one before you stopped singing.